Let us begin.
We're going to open today with singing Hava Nashira. It is not in the book, but the words are very easy. It's Hava Nashira, Come Let Us Sing. And I think I've taught this one before, but it just kind of repeats. So join in me as you know it. So Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. That repeats. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. We'll do it again. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. The next part is English. It's Come Let Us Sing. It goes, Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. That's it. Let's try that. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Try it again. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. We just put those two things together. Let's try it. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, Hava Nashira. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing.
Well, I would like to welcome Melanie back to the Bema. I'm thrilled that you're here. This feels like a wonderful service, and I look forward to more. I also want to mention that today is the yahrzeit of Debbie Friedman, who many of you may know sort of revolutionized synagogue music, particularly in the Reform movement, bringing an accessible folk style of music to the synagogue rather than the traditional chanting or high art cantorial solo, almost performative music, which characterized the Reform movement. So she contributed not only to music and revolutionizing music across the liberal movements, but also to the idea of Jewish healing. She was very involved in the healing movement to the extent that she didn't take care of herself all that well, unfortunately. But her yahrzeit is felt by many, and her name is on the Reform Movement's cantorial school, the Debbie Friedman School of Music. So she will be remembered for a long time.
And Reform synagogues really across the world today, they're doing a lot of Debbie Friedman music.
Yes.
We'll will be singing some Debbie Friedman music today. I've been reined in a little bit today on too much Debbie Friedman.
I said
music.
not all Debbie
Not all
Friedman.
Debbie Friedman. But we'll be doing some more Debbie Friedman than normal.
Okay, and I would like to invite Rachel up to light the candles. Good. Yeah, I noticed. Oh, tell her I missed her.
Good choice. Good choice.
What page are we on?
We're on page 2.
I'll try it. I'll try it. Nice. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halet ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. She was my moral support for the match. I don't want to.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Return to page 9 and read at the top in the English. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Return to page 10.
And please join me in Hine Tov because it is wonderful to be together today. Hine Matov umanayim sheberayim kam yad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim sheberayim kam yad. Hine matov umanayim sheberayim kam yad. And Maya Fehayom as we continue in Kabbalah. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Page 20 for Lecha Dodi.
And we'll do verses 1, 5, and 9, and we will rise together on verse 9 to welcome in Shabbat. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Shemor v'zachor b'dibur ehad, Ishmihanu echem hayahad, Adonai echad o Shemo ehad, L'shemu tiferet eliti la 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 hadoti, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorehi, ki va'ore kumi hori, uri shitaveli, kevod Adonai, I like me, la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Oiv shalom al teret bala, gam besimchot zola, toch emuneh am semula. Oiv kala, ya la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Oh, be seated. Thank you.
Yikada v'yikada shemei rabba, Yamal divarach yotev yamlich malchutei, Lecha yehonu v'yomekon, Uchayed kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'alamu me'amaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, yitba'ar, v'yitroman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei kodeshah, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nehemata, ta'amira me'ha, ve'imeru.
We turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, le'olam va'ed.
Page 30, we'll read together in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are a creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shofteinu, u'kumeinu nasiach b'chutecha, v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki chen chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vohem negei yom avad layla, negei yom halayla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
May be seated. Page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ובתתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך, למען תזכרו, עשיתם את מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Turn to page 39 and read together at the top. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 40.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neitar b'kodesh, noratzehi lo rosefelen, noratzehi lo rosefelen. Malechut haro uvanecha, pokea yam lefnei Moshe v'Miriam, zehelianu ve'amru, zehelianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
Page 42. I'll begin in the Hebrew and switch to English, at which point you can join me or join me in the Hebrew. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu shomrenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us and over all your people Israel and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. On page 44.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat le'dorotam ve'lit olam. B'nei Yovel, b'nei Yisrael, odi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat le'dorotam ve'lit olam. Ki sheshet yamin asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat le'dorotam ve'lit olam. Ubayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat le'dorotam ve'lit olam.
We're a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without memories gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Page 46, we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai, Sefer Titochu, Via Kiteni Hatena. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Ha'Gibor, Ha'Gibor Ha'Nora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ekonei Ha'akol, Ezocher Chasdei Elohim Amo, U'mehikut L'nei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magid, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Ezrat Tzorah.
You may be seated. We turn to page 59 and read on the top. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha U'Lecha Na'eh Lehodot. Page 60, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim
Now take a few moments for silent, private prayer.
Adonai tzuri v'goali. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri v'goali.
This week, we begin the book of the Torah, known in English as Exodus. Its Hebrew name, and that of the first parsha, is Shemot, which means names. We read the names of the Israelites, the sons of Jacob, who went down to Egypt. We read of Moses' naming, and we read of God's revealed name at a blazing bush that burned unconsumed. But the parsha is about more than names. It reflects the important identities that are signified by naming and calls us to reflect on the named identities that we carry. The names of Jacob's sons are the names of tribes. They represent numerous individuals who populated the land of Egypt and became workers in service of Pharaoh. And each individual had a common identity. They were Israelites, descendants of Israel, Jacob, same name. A distinct group singled out and oppressed by Pharaoh. The tale of the Israelites is, of course, what the rest of the book of Exodus and the Torah centers on. And central to this tale is Moses. Moses, an Israelite baby boy, was found in a basket among the reeds at a time when Pharaoh decreed that all male Israelite babies be drowned. Rather than being drowned, this Israelite boy was rescued by Pharaoh's daughter and named by her. She named him Moses, an Egyptian name which, like Ramses, was an Egyptian word for child. The Torah tells us that in Hebrew, the name Moses means, I drew him from the water. This is what the name would mean to the Israelites. The child Moses was raised in Pharaoh's palace as an Egyptian prince. But as we learn, he had a different destiny, one centered in the holy destiny of the Israelite people. This destiny is only revealed much later in his life. As a young adult, Moses was forced to flee Egypt when he struck an Egyptian who was abusing an Israelite man. He lands in Midian, living a contented adult life as a shepherd with his wife Zipporah, the daughter of a Midianite priest. He spends his time tending the flocks of his father-in-law, Jethro. Then suddenly, while he's out in the field one day, a messenger of God appeared to him in a blazing fire out of a bush. He gazed at the strange sight and saw that the bush was all aflame. Yet the bush was not consumed. He looked away, and God called to him by name out of the bush. Moses, Moses. He answered, Hineni, here I am. God informed Moses that he is standing on holy ground and continued to say, I am the God of your father's house, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. In this defining moment, Moses again is drawn out, here drawn out from his uncomplicated life in Midian and called back to his biological roots and identity as an Israelite. God tells him that he has seen the suffering of the Israelite laborers at the hand of Pharaoh and says to him, Come, I will send you to Pharaoh, and you shall free my people, the Israelites, from Egypt. Moses hesitates and asks two questions of God. The second question is, who are you? And as we read in Exodus chapter 3, verse 13, Moses says, So I will go to the Israelites and say, Your father's God sent me to you. They will immediately ask me what his name is. What shall I say to them? God replies enigmatically, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. How do we translate this strange appellation? Grammatically, it could be simply, I will be what I will be. Or it can be understood as, I am whatever I choose to be. Or perhaps God is saying, I am more than you can comprehend. However we translate the appellation, it tells us that God's self-revelation is beyond human identification and human definition. Humans like Moses and like us have identities that can be grasped. God does not. The first question Moses asked, God doesn't answer. Moses asked, Mi Anochi, who am I? Was he asking, who am I to be worthy of being your spokesperson? Or was it a question of identity? Up until this point, Moses has had multiple identities. First, from his early upbringing, he was the Egyptian prince. Second, as an adult, he was a Midianite shepherd. Third, and most fundamentally, he was an Israelite, though his mission as an Israelite called by God didn't begin until he was 80 years old. Imagine that. There's still time, folks, to be called by God. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs points out that when Moses asks, who am I? He may be feeling unworthy, but more than that, he feels himself uninvolved. He may have been Jewish by birth, but he had not suffered the fate of his people. He had not grown up as a Jew. He had not lived among Jews. He had good reason to doubt that the Israelites would even recognize him as one of them. How then could he even become their leader? Their fate was not his. He was not part of it. He was not responsible for it. He did not suffer from it. He was not implicated in it. And yet he was an Israelite. The Torah tells us that when Moses was grown, he began to go out to his own people, and he saw their hard labor. Sachs notes that these people were his people. He may have looked like an Egyptian, but he knew that ultimately he was not one. It was a transforming moment, not unlike when the Moabite Ruth said to her Israelite mother-in-law, Naomi, "Your people will be my people, and your God my God." Ruth was un-Jewish by birth. Moses was un-Jewish by upbringing. But both knew that when they saw suffering and identified with the sufferer, they could not walk away. Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik called this a covenant of fate, a brit goral. And as Sachs notes, it lies at the heart of Jewish identity to this day. There are Jews who believe and Jews who don't. There are Jews who practice and Jews who don't. There are born Jews and Jews by conversion. But there are few Jews who, when their people are suffering, can walk away saying, "This has nothing to do with me." The story in Shemot is about Moses and his identity and charge, but ultimately, it is even more about us, about our identity and charge as Jews. Whether born Jewish or converted to the family, we have a particular identity and responsibilities. We are bound by a brit goral, a covenant of faith. In Reform Judaism, this brit of identity and responsibilities is more spacious and demanding than it first sounds. Reform Judaism insists that we are not defined only by what we inherited, but also by what we choose. A life of covenant renewed through learning, practice, and ethical action. The Union for Reform Judaism describes reform as maintaining faith in the covenant between God and Israel, as expressed in the teaching of an ever-evolving Torah, and as being stirred by the mandate of Tikkun Olam, partnering with God to repair the world. That means that Jewish identity can't remain private or purely spiritual. As Moses is drawn out of one life into responsibility for his people, Reformed Jews are repeatedly drawn out of comfort into obligation to show up as Jews in the public square, and also to show up as Jews in our homes. What we do, how we speak, how we spend our time, how we rest, what we study, and what we refuse to normalize. The 1994 CCAR Statement of Principles explicitly frames Reform Judaism around God, Torah, and Israel, inviting Reform Jews into ongoing dialogue with our sources so that holiness is not an abstract idea, but a lived practice that shapes our days and destiny. The Reform movement's platforms make clear that this responsibility is both ritual and profoundly moral. Our people are charged to live a way of life that is framed by the written and the oral Torah, a life of ritual and ethical practices that both elevate our consciousness as Jews and guide our moral choices. Our Jewish identities are rooted in these practices of our historic people and in our moral choices. So we end where Shemot began, with names. To be a Reform Jew is to claim the name Yisrael, not as a label, but as a calling toward belonging, learning, practicing, and justice as religious imperatives. We turn to page 253 for the Mishaberach. Usually it just opens right up there. Okay, in this congregation, we're reciting the healing prayer for Mary Travasio, Dina Wendt, Sid Cohen, Max Stella, Mitch Musicant, Phil Brennan, Adam Sealing, and Marilyn Cherney. Are there any other names for the Mishaberach? Okay, and this Mishaberach, by the way, is Debbie Friedman's, as are some of the other things we've sung, but I wanted to point that out on this one.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu, Kor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn to page 282 for the Elenu. Please rise. You may be seated. And we come to announcements. Who from the board is going to recite? Probably you. I was thinking of you.
All right, a morning Shabbat service, followed by Torah study, will be held tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Religious school preschool will meet this Sunday at 10 a.m. Book club meets Wednesday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. The board meeting will be Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Mahjong meets every Thursday this month from 1 to 4 for anyone interested in playing or learning how to play. Our next Friday Shabbat service will be January 23rd at 7 p.m. Lunch and Learn will be held on Saturday, January 24th from 12 to 1:30 p.m. And our next morning service and Torah study will be on Saturday, February 7th. Do you want to do that, Ghislaine?
And thank you to Rachel and Joyce for hosting our own Egg Shabbat. As we prepare for the Mourner's Kaddish, I'd like to offer this reading on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. In our congregation, we remember Greg Dahl and Jerry Mortensen, who passed within the past year. Are there any other recent deaths? Yard sites include Sophia Ugoritz, Louis Gorwitz, Alvin Levine, Harold Maggot, Gerald Lipman, Jenny Ugoritz, Scott Kaplan, Lillian Greenma, Irving Rosen, Erica Schwab, Florence Morrison Miller, Florence Rothfeld, George Winat, Herman Louis Shapiro, Marie Bloom, Matilda Schweisheimer, Sarah Chaikin, Juana Bernstein de Procupes, Margaret Jacobs, Joyce Grossman, Myron Silberman, Faye Berkeley, Shirley Nobler, Debbie Friedman, and Renee Nicole Good, the woman who was killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis this Wednesday. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei ve'amlif malchutei, v'chayechon u'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei t'kudusha b'richu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. And we conclude our service with Lechi Lach, a Debbie Friedman song. It's on page 341.
I'll always remember singing this in 2019. I don't know if Marcia, you remember at Biennial, with all the song leaders doing a kind of a tribute to Debbie Friedman and everyone sort of latching arms around each other. And this was one of the things that we closed with. It was just one tributes to Debbie that I've ever felt. So definitely closing with the Debbie song.
Let me add a memory.
Please.
I remember being at the congregation that I helped to start, of which Debbie Friesman's mother was a member, and we sang this song. Debbie was there. We sang this song, and it was the first time that it was performed. So, it wasn't written for us, but it really, Lechilach, essentially, go to a place that I will show you, a land that I will show you. It was very appropriate for a new congregation. Yeah. Factoids.
I think her cousin was a former congregant here too. Wasn't she? I think her name is also Debbie. I don't think so. What's her name? I have to look it up. I'll connect with you afterwards. Milwaukee. She's in Milwaukee right now. Amy's first name. I should know she was a member here. So. All right. Anyway, Lechaha, 341. Lechila, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechila, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechila, Lechila, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechila, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat hayim, l'simchat hayim, l'simchat hayim, lechila, and you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, you shall be a blessing, lechila. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.
You shall be a blessing. You shall be